Hello and welcome to Neptune Talks. Today we're diving into something that's a huge topic for so many businesses: how to simplify those really complex SAP environments.
Right. It's a massive challenge. We're talking about driving digital transformation without, completely disrupting the core systems that run the entire business. It's a tricky balancing act.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter if you're on the older ECC system, in the middle of a big migration to S4, or even if you're already on S4. These challenges are pretty universal.
Mhm. You have this legacy complexity, but the business needs to innovate, and you have to do it all while trying to keep that core system clean and stable. We've got some great real-world examples to talk about today though.
Let's start with Saint-Gobain. I mean, this is a huge 360-year-old French company. We're talking almost 50 billion in revenue, 160,000 employees. They're massive.
And almost entirely run on SAP, like 95% of their operations. But it's interesting, before they started changing things, their situation was, well, pretty painful.
How so? What were the main issues?
Well, for one, SAP access was really limited. Mostly just finance and some supply chain people could get in. If you were in sales or quality or purchasing, no access.
So, how did they get anything done?
Excel and email, mostly. The head of their Neptune Competence Center, Florent, he actually came from a finance background and said forecasting was a complete nightmare. Just imagine sending these huge, complex Excel files back and forth by email.
Oh, I can imagine. He actually switched from finance to digital just because he was so tired of working with Excel. That's a powerful motivator.
Totally. He said after COVID, they realized they needed to change and go for more digitalization. They wanted to turn all those manual Excel based processes into proper business applications.
So when they decided to build apps, what were their options? I mean, how did they approach it?
They looked at a few paths. Option one was the traditional way: get a team of developers for back end, front end, cloud. You get a very customized app, but it's slow. For their first project, they only had 3 months, and that just wasn't going to work.
Okay, so traditional development was too slow. What was option two?
The complete opposite, really. Think of things like Power Apps. It's all drag and drop, super easy to build something quickly. But the problem there is you're stuck. You can't really customize it for your specific business needs.
So one is too slow and complex, the other is fast but too rigid.
Exactly. And for them, Neptune was the perfect option right in the middle. It was a mix of both. You get the easy drag and drop development, but you also have full access to the code, so you can customize it completely if you need to.
And because it's so much easier to develop, the cost is lower. Plus, it uses the same library as SAP, so when they eventually migrate to S4HANA, the user experience will be consistent. It just ticked all the boxes.
Okay, let's talk about a real example. What's one of these simple processes they digitized?
The One Prize app is a great one. So, Saint-Gobain sells things like windshields to big car manufacturers. For a long time, the price was stable, but recently, prices started increasing every couple of months.
And they had to update, what, 10,000 SAP codes every time?
10,000, yeah. So the old process was, again, a big Excel template. A salesperson fills it out, sends it through a workflow of 3 different people via email, and at the end, someone in finance had to manually type all those new prices into SAP.
Oh, the risk of mistakes must have been huge.
It was. They had some really bad mistakes. The whole process took about 2 weeks.
So, what does it look like now with the app?
Now, a salesperson just logs into the app. They see their list of products, and this is key, they see the current price directly from SAP. No more guesswork. They just input the new price.
And the workflow is built right into the app. It goes through approvals, and the last person just checks it and clicks a button that says push to SAP.
And the 2-week process now takes, what?
2 days.
Wow, that is a massive impact. From 2 weeks of manual work and errors down to 2 days in a simple app. It also sounds like a big win for the actual users.
Absolutely. The biggest value add for them is that what was invisible in SAP is now visible in the app. People feel more engaged because they can actually see the data. They don't have to say, sorry, SAP is too complex. I don't know my transaction number.
I love that. It's not just about efficiency, it's about empowerment. And the adoption is strong?
Very. They say new apps are fully adopted within about 2 weeks. And now they have requests from every department purchasing, legal, management, all wanting to build simple apps for their simple needs. They've gone from 30 apps in the pipeline to about 40 in a very short time.
That's such a powerful example of simplification. For our listeners who are dealing with similar challenges and want to see how this works, it's probably a good time to mention you can find out more on the Neptune software website.
Definitely a good place to start. Now let's shift gears a bit to another big name, Vodafone. Their journey is a bit different. They're very focused on this concept of a clean core.
Right, this is a huge topic for anyone on an S4 journey. So what's Vodafone's approach?
Well, they're in the middle of a massive S4 migration program, and for them, clean core is what they call a non-negotiable principle. The goal is to make sure their SAP environment is upgrade safe, cloud compliant, and ready for innovation.
So they're trying to avoid heavy customizations directly in the main system, right?
Exactly. They have a great way of putting it. Their target for now is not necessarily to clean the entire core, but to make sure that we don't make our core dirtier than what it is at the moment.
That's a very pragmatic approach. So how do they handle all the custom processes they need?
Through side-by-side extensibility, they are actively exploring low-code tools like Neptune to build those custom solutions outside of the core system. It keeps the core clean while still letting them innovate and meet business needs.
This brings up a really important question for any company in this position. When should you start thinking about this? Do you wait until you've moved to S4 or start before?
The advice is pretty clear on this one. As soon as possible.
Even before the S4 migration?
Yes, you don't have to wait. You can start that innovation journey right now. By picking those simple applications with simple needs like Saint-Gobain did, you can start delivering change and value to the organization much sooner.
And I guess it has a side benefit too. It helps users get used to the new way of working, the new Fiori-style applications, even before the big S4 switch happens.
Right. It supports the migration by warming people up to the new SAP. Trying to make all these decisions about the future can stall things, but this approach lets you get started now.
So really, whether you're looking at it from a pure simplification standpoint like Saint-Gobain or a strategic clean core perspective like Vodafone, the message seems to be don't wait. Find those simple, high-impact processes and start building better experiences for your users now.
Exactly. Start delivering that value as soon as possible. It builds momentum and makes the entire digital transformation journey a lot smoother.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Neptune Talks. We'll see you in the next one. If you want to listen or read more case studies, then you should visit neptune-software.com.